Hey guys, Tatiana Ward here, aka BEATFACEHONEY. You guys are really going to like this video because I show you step by step my foundation routine as well, which is something that I don't often do because it switches quite a bit on me. The staples in my kit are entirely different than what I'm about to show you, but I just use whatever's inexpensive on myself, probably because I'm just too lazy to go get the expensive and too cheap to go get the expensive stuff for myself. I don't know. But as you can see, even though I'm using inexpensive foundations, my results are still great. I did something different that I don't normally do, and I wonder if you guys can really see it. It's kind of like a glow all over my skin. That is from a company, a woman that I love. She makes the best shimmery stuff ever, and her name is Melanie. You'll see what I did in just a moment. So yeah, very simple look, minimal. My focus is always skin. No matter what, I try to get away with the most easy eye that I could possibly get away with on a client, because 9 times out of 10 I'd rather put my time into their skin than their eyeshadow. And most people really just don't even care about the eyeshadow. They just want their skin looking right, and they want everything surrounding the eye to look right. So this is very true to something that I would do on a client. Still dramatic with the dark lip. So if you care to see how I did it, then I hope you'll stay tuned. Okay guys, this is normally a product that I use just on people's legs, like if somebody needs a little shimmer. But I decided that I would try my hand at using it under my foundation and see how I feel about that. It's an amazing product for like just shimmery skin. So I was just curious, like, what would it look like under my foundation? I used to use a similar product from NARS. I could just take a wet beauty blender, kind of blend it out. Just a reminder that just because it comes from a drugstore does not mean it's bad. I have used drugstore products, foundations included. In fact, there's a staple in my kit that is drugstore. And I'm learning in developing my own product and speaking with different factories. There's only but so many factories in the world that distribute all of the makeup that we know. But so much of it is all coming from the same places. Obviously some products really are just better than others, but don't get caught up on names. This is L'Oreal True Match. I just discovered this a month or so ago, and I'm digging it. I did a class in Virginia with a few other makeup artists, both of whom like to use liquids and both of whom use drugstore liquids on all of their clients. And I just feel like there's more of that going around than you really realize, myself included. I have high-end luxury brands in my kit as well, but seems like the further I go along, the more I realize that it's all kind of the same stuff. Some things are just thicker than others. I love what that Melanie did for my skin. It just gave me like a glow. And like I said, if you're somebody with super oily skin to begin with, that's not something you'll want to do, because you don't need any help looking shiny or even more shiny than you know you're going to already be. Filling in my brow lightly with my MAC spiked brow pencil. Taking my MAC Studio Finish Concealer. I wouldn't even call this a highlight. I'm more so just cleaning up against the edge of my brow. We are not doing perfect brows anymore, folks. So that super square look that myself included was doing, actually it was never really the thing to do. We were just all just misinformed. Cleaning up right under that edge, making sure my product is going through the brow. I like to have gaps in between the brow though. Makes it look a little bit more natural. Taking Groundwork from MAC, using that as my base, putting that on my lid. Anything cream I tend to spread out with my finger a little bit. Taking an orangey color from the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. It is called Peanut Butter. I'm going to use that as my first transitional color. And the same on the other eye, not taking it as high as the brow, kind of leaving some skin showing there. Then I want to go into my Naked Ultimate Basics palette from Urban Decay. And I'm concentrating that at my crease, just trying to add a little tiny bit of depth. Doing it on the other side as well. And I'll move my brush over to Lockout. Same palette. Intensify that outer eye. And I took some of that nudie. That's what the color is called. And I'm putting that across the lid. Just going to take our darkest brown and kind of put a little darkness on the tail end of the lid. One of my favorite brushes is MAC's 221 brush. Again, taking my MAC Studio Finish concealers, I just mix them. I put my brush in one and then I put my brush in the other. By cutting that edge, I'm making it easier to draw a wing. I'm going to begin blending that out. Carrying it down. I lightened my lip because a lot of times, especially women of color, tend to be dark right there at the lip, regardless as to whether or not you've waxed your mustache. Using both sides of my Beauty Blender. So I flipped it to the part that I had foundation on, just so I could blend this edge out, make sure that my concealer didn't go out too far. I always utilize the both sides of my Beauty Blender. Just blending my nose out with my finger. Beauty Blender is a little too thick to blend out the nose with. Sometimes I'll just go in right now, set my entire face, and then only do a powder contour, but I'm just going to show you how I would do a cream. I'm taking this product. It's not even what I carry in my kit. It's Fashion Fair, and somebody happened to give it to me as a sample, which is why it's in this plastic thing. I love this brush from Makeup Forever. Very small amount I'm using. Goes right there in the hollow of the cheek. Starting at the hairline and then bringing it down the side of my forehead. And then I'm going to take some of that excess, put it right on the sides of my chin. Brush kind of acts as like a buffer, so I don't even really need to go in with the Beauty Blender. I could take just whatever's left on my brush from that concealer and very lightly trace underneath my contour just to bring it out a little bit more, but I'm not adding more product. I'm going to assume that I already have enough product on the brush already. I feel like that's how you get too much of a color deposit. I, for one, hate to contour my nose, so I'm not going to. I just highlighted it, and I think that's enough. Before I begin to set underneath my eye, I'm going to make sure that all of my creases are blended out. So if I start to set my makeup over top of something that's already began to settle into the creases of my eyes, well then of course I'm really going to have creases, you know, 2 hours from now. Acting quickly, I'm putting a translucent powder under my eye. That translucent powder is what's going to set under my eye. And then I'm going to take some of that Ben Nye lightly, and it's almost as if I'm double setting under my eye with that light powder. And that, boys and girls, is how you set under your eye so that it doesn't crease. Again, on this side, before I even begin to put powder on it, I'm going to make sure that I've blended out all of my creases. Acting quickly. The whole face has to be set with translucent powder, but I act under the eyes, and I do that really quickly because I know that that's going to crease, because that's the one place on my face that really has creases. So I make sure that that's set before I go into the rest of the face. So I'm using my translucent. Make sure you get right up against those edges of the mouth, because those will start to gather as well. For those of you who claim to be ashy at this point because of the translucent powder, make sure that you keep your tinted powders handy. Whatever tinted powder, I don't care if it's mineral or whatever it is, you're gonna find use for it, especially if you're trying to build your kit. That's how you bring color back into the face. Now I'm gonna go warm up those areas of contour. This is a Lancome powder. I don't even carry Lancome powders in my kit. I bought it for somebody, it didn't work out for them, so I just ended up using it on me. A lot of the products that you see me use that are part of like my personal stash, I don't even really use on other people. I always give them the good stuff, and then I just work with what I got. Keep me running back to you. Ooh, I know. And I could take a little Gleam from Melanie Mills. Excess right in the middle of the forehead. Whispies, Old Faithful. The very first color that we put down, called Peanut Butter. Putting that in my eye. And then I'm going to put a little smidge of a dark brown on the outer corner. Okay, so that's that. Very simple look. I'd say that if I wasn't speaking, I mean, it's kind of like what I do every day, just minus the eyeshadow. It might take me 20 minutes, 25 minutes. As always, there's a detailed list down below. Yeah, I hope you guys like the look, and I will see you right back here really soon. Thanks, bye.